Arvind was driving on a residential street when an oncoming car started heading straight toward him. He tried slowing down and squeezing to the right to escape a head-on collision, but there was no way for him to entirely avoid a crash. The other car ended up hitting the rear of his Tesla Model Y and taking off the driver's side rear wheel. One of the other car's front wheels also came off in the impact. The woman who'd hit him refused to share her license or insurance details. Instead, she just got out of her car and started walking away from the scene as if this was her usual parking spot. Arvind realized this was a job for the police, so he called 911 and let the cops chase down the driver as she calmly kept walking down the street. Arvind told us the woman was discovered to be driving under the influence. At the scene, 3 vehicles were involved: Arvind's Tesla Model Y, the woman's Chevrolet Bolt, and a parked Nissan that Arvind's Tesla got shoved into. Arvind's first repair estimate was $34,000, but later the insurance company told him they would total the car rather than repair it. He's still negotiating the settlement amount. The driver ahead of Hudson braked abruptly, forcing him to do the same. The driver of the minivan behind him didn't. Hudson saw that the minivan was going to rear-end his Tesla in his rearview mirror. Just before the impact, both he and his wife felt the seatbelts tighten. After the impact, the Model 3 applied emergency braking to keep it from hitting the vehicle ahead of it. Everyone involved was able to walk away without any serious injuries. Hudson's wife called the police and they responded quickly. He showed one officer his Teslacam footage and they wrote in the collision report that the minivan driver was at fault after following too closely. Hudson filed an insurance claim the next day and the insurance provider covered all the damage and provided him with a rental car. The repairs took $10,000 and 2 months to complete. Hudson told us he's grateful that his Tesla kept him and his wife safe. Jules was driving his Model Y on a highway in Ontario, California, when he suddenly heard a loud crash and saw a Honda bumper coming out from behind a semi-truck. In the right repeater camera, we can see a Honda go barreling off the highway before crashing into an overpass and rear-ending a semi-truck. If we look closely, it looks like the Honda was already damaged before it came flying off the highway. In the rear camera, we can see the Honda was driving alongside a truck, and although it's quite hard to see, it almost looks like the truck changed lanes and sideswiped the Honda. We can't tell for sure. Hopefully the police can sort it out. Jules called 911 and offered them a copy of his Teslacam footage to help them with their collision investigation. This emitter was driving his Model 3 in Nashville, Tennessee. When traffic started to slow down, he heard a loud bang behind him. In his rearview mirror, he saw a bus plowing into stopped traffic. It wasn't until he watched the left repeater footage that he saw a car had actually turned and hit the bus. Our submitter searched the news but couldn't find anything about the collision, which we hope is a sign that everyone was okay. Srinivas was driving his Model 3 on a highway when he suddenly heard a large thump. When he got home, he was in for a surprise. An iron rod had plunged through his front bumper cover and shattered the frunk before stopping. Srinivas was extremely grateful that the rod hit the bumper and not the windshield. He has no idea where it came from, but he filed an insurance claim and included his Teslacam footage. He's still waiting to get a repair estimate. There's road debris, and then there's road debris. Darren witnessed the teenage driver of a BMW make a spectacular U-turn. The BMW driver somehow lost control and hit a Lexus, damaging the rear end. Apparently, the BMW driver lived on this street, and their mother heard the collision and came out to exchange information with the Lexus driver. York was slowing down for traffic piling up on the highway when a Chevy approached at full speed in the fast lane. The driver slammed on the brakes, barely avoiding rear-ending him when they slid onto the shoulder. The Chevy stopped a few car lengths in front of him. As York drove past him, the driver shrugged his shoulders, raised his hands, and laughed. York told us he's grateful it wasn't a Honda, or else he'd need a new Tesla. Justin was driving down Highway 5 in Elk Grove, California when he spotted 4 new Teslas on their way to be delivered to their new owners. When he passed the semi, he realized it was no ordinary semi, it was a Tesla semi. Tesla's using Teslas to deliver Teslas. Okay, now repeat that with me 5 times. Tesla's using Teslas to deliver Teslas.
Tesla's using Teslas to deliver Teslas. Tesla's using Teslas to deliver Teslas. Tesla's using Teslas to deliver Teslas.
A driver making their way across a railroad crossing got stuck at a red light before the crossing arm came down and hit the front of their car. When they tried to back up, another crossing arm stopped them. Cue up the dramatic music, please. The passenger jumped out to lift the arm in front of them, and they were able to escape the oncoming train. Phew! Joe was taking his Model 3 through a car wash, which he does every Saturday morning. As the mechanism gently propelled his Tesla forward, the lady driving the Toyota Venza behind him didn't realize that the machine was handling everything for her. With her windshield completely covered in foam, she accelerated straight into the rear of Joe's car. Believe it or not, the lady tried to blame the car wash business for this. Even though the directions told her to put the car in neutral, she got confused because the car wash was labeled a drive-through. So that's exactly what she did. Joe says the damage wasn't too bad, but will take some body work to repair, and an insurance claim has been filed. Craig was getting ready to make an unprotected right on red, but he was making sure the drivers turning left weren't making U-turns. A lady in a white Nissan began aggressively honking at him from behind, smacking her steering wheel and making rude gestures. Craig noticed and admits he made a rude gesture back, and that's when orange juice was thrown at his door. Craig didn't confront her, choosing instead to make a police report. He's now waiting to hear back from them. Good idea, Craig. Let the cops deal with Karen. Reddy was driving his Model S in Glacier National Park when he encountered a huge traffic jam climbing toward Logan Pass. At first, he was a bit surprised by the sudden increase in traffic and wondered why everyone had stopped, but then he figured out why. A large bear emerged before circling around his Tesla. If I were on that motorcycle, I would have started freaking out right about now as the bear was heading straight at them. When Reddy started accelerating, the bear started following him instead. What a spectacular sighting! We hope the bear made its way safely off the road. Reddy also snapped a few pictures for us. Hoosier Airy was heading home with his son from karate practice when they approached an intersection and saw the light turn green before the truck in front of them proceeded into the intersection. The light had been green for a good 5 seconds before another driver ran their red light and hit the truck right in front of them. Hoosier Airy rushed to assist the occupants after he noticed smoke coming from the vehicle. Fortunately, they only sustained minor injuries, and police and paramedics were on the scene within minutes. A big truck rolled coal on Matt, and we didn't get much more info from Matt regarding why he did what he did next, but this sure doesn't look very safe or legal. At least he managed to get away from the truck. When they got to the next intersection, he did it again. We're just gonna let the rest of the video play. I'm not sure what to say about it. Matt sent us one more video, and this one is a bit calmer. He was driving in Las Vegas, and when he made a turn, he had a perfect view of the Sphere. The Sphere is a 2.3 billion entertainment arena, and it's also the world's largest LED screen. On that particular night, it was displaying the surface of the moon. A driver was in an awful hurry to return a library book, we all know the feeling, and decided to pull straight into the large parking spot in front of this submitter's Model 3. He misjudged his maneuver and clipped the front end of the Tesla before correcting his parking. Right then, the submitter walked out and discovered what had happened. That's when the other driver told him how important it was for him to return the library book. I just wish our submitter would have told us what book it was. He made an insurance claim, and State Farm paid $4,900 to repair his Tesla, plus another $1,100 for a rental car for 2 weeks. Obviously, the rental car was another Tesla. With his car fixed, our submitter was back on the road, but it wasn't long until he found himself in another wham-bam moment. This time he was driving along when he noticed a box turtle in the road. He has a memory of his father running over a turtle while he was riding with him 30 years ago, so this time he decided to intervene. He tossed the turtle up to the top of the steep embankment, but then he had to go since he'd been blocking the road for too long already. While we admire his heroism, we'll let you know that his nickname Astronomy Bum is a reaction to being teased in high school. His classmates called him Drum Bum, so he took ownership of the moniker and changed it to his liking. Brian was driving his Model 3 when a commercial truck veered into oncoming traffic and hit another truck's trailer at high speed. We don't know if the occupants of either truck were injured, but the collision wasn't reported on the news, which usually means that there were no serious injuries. We'll let you know if we get any more information. Some debris hit Brian's Tesla, and he's currently waiting to get an estimate from a repair shop. Watch what happened in front of Isaac while he was sitting at a red light. Isaac pulled into a nearby parking lot, then walked over to see if everyone was okay. Thankfully, they were. His girlfriend called 911 to report the collision, and Isaac offered his footage to everyone involved. Anders was driving his Model Y when he noticed 2 kids wearing swim trunks gesturing for him to splash them by driving through a large puddle. Anders told us it seemed like they wanted some fun memories, so he was happy to oblige. That looks like so much fun.
Wham, bam, we got a Patreon man. Please support the show.